I think you got some Snetterton in your bomb hole. All right, this week we are headed to Snetterton. I think we've done GT3s here one week, so it's been a while since I've done this, and it's an interesting course. I really like the last section of it, but it's really difficult that first turn into the final section where you've got to kind of brake and hold it for two corners. Pretty wild. Interesting course. We were able to get a 1:58.945. I think the fast folks are going to be doing 56s, 57s, so we'll see them out there. We'll see how many people are showing up, so if we can hold our own or not. I tried to do like a full race worth of fuel just to make sure I wasn't spinning out. I had some trouble putting too much wheel in some of the corners, and that was causing me to spin the car. So I tried to do a full race's worth without without any major hiccups, and I was getting 1:49 2-minute laps. So we'll see if that's enough to get me like a mid-pack finish. Trying for the 1:58s. I end up having to push a little bit hard, and we end up with the spins, but at least we know how to do it. Speaking of, we'll show you that lap and how we did it, and we'll come back here and chat a little bit more.
That lap was at 2:00.9. Sector 3 is 1.9 off your best. Two litres remaining. Sector 2 is 0.2 off your best. That lap was a 1:58.9. Sector 3 is a 10th off your best.
All right, Snetterton in our Formula Ford. We got ourselves a 1:58.945. We're going to go through how we did that. I didn't have the best exit out of this last corner. It is pretty tough for me, but we're gonna go with it because this was our best lap, and we're just gonna fast forward because it's full throttle through there. And our first braking point is going to be pretty heavy. It's going to be a little bit before, like in between the 2 and the 1 here. So we're going to come up here. We're going to start getting ready to brake, and then braking just a little bit before where the 1 is there. We're going to brake pretty hard. Hold it for a little bit, and then we're going to start letting off. It's kind of trail braking, so we're just gonna hold it, let the pressure go slowly, and then we're gonna start putting the throttle in right about here. And you probably want to hold it a little tighter than I am here, but not too tight. And we want to avoid dipping our wheel down in here, because this is a pretty nasty little jump there. You can go a little bit in there, but I would avoid hitting it too hard, because it'll send you all wonky. That's the technical term there, wonky. Next braking point again is going to be a bit before the 1, and then on this corner coming up, we're going to have to be very progressive with our steering. I found myself wanting to turn the wheel too quickly, and that was causing them to bite in a little bit more and send the car around. So we're going to go in, we hit our brakes a bit before the 1, we'll hold it, a little bit of pressure, then let it off. Slowly start turning the wheel there. So we're just kind of slowly giving it more wheel. And we're gonna let go of the brakes and start putting on some throttle. Still giving it a little bit more wheel, and then we're gonna come out of the wheel and full throttle. So yeah, like I said, if I would give it too much wheel, and that would cause lots of spins in my practice there. Next, we're gonna have a little lift up here. So right here, where the grass kind of changes, there's a brown patch with a little green patch in between before this corner sign, and we're gonna lift there. We're gonna lift, and we're just gonna bring the wheel in. We're gonna kind of coast along this curb here for a little bit, and then we're gonna start bringing our throttle back in, maybe a quarter of the way through, and then it's just full throttle. And it takes a bit of practice to kind of figure out where you're gonna do it. And then we're just gonna kind of come up on this AstroTurf on the right hand side here. Keep the throttle in it, and then we just want to make sure that we steer off before the end of it. So we have to get off before this right here. And this is full throttle through here. Now this one caught me out a few times as well. On the last one, similar kind of thing with turning the wheel too quickly. Our braking points in between the 2 and the 1 here, kind of where this part comes out, is I'm gonna say where kind of our braking point ends up being. I always like end up starting to brake a little bit before that, just to kind of roll it on. But that's kind of where we're peaking with the brake pressure. And then just like before, we're gonna start bringing some wheel in. And again, if you turn it too fast, like I did many times in practice, the back end will come right around. And then we're going to start bringing some throttle in about halfway through, a little bit more, and then the rest of the way as we start easing the wheel out. And then we're headed straight to the next corner here. This one is just a lift, pretty much where the Hamilton sign is, I think. That's where we're going to lift off. Slowly lift out of that, and then bring it back as we hit the apex. Yeah, we're just gonna start lifting here, and bring it back. We're gonna come out a little bit over here, and we want to get back over here so we can brake in a straight line coming down this way. And this would be a nice braking point. I think that's where we're gonna hit our peaks, but we're gonna be braking like pretty much as soon as we get over here. Pretty heavy on the brakes. We're gonna start coming off the brakes and turning in. And we're turning in. We give some more gas as we hit that patch of AstroTurf there. Full throttle on it. And I've experimented a couple different ways of taking this next corner here with just a lift and with a little bit of brake pressure. And I found the little bit of brake pressure kind of gives me a better exit. It could be just my lack of skill, but we're just going to use a little bit of brake pressure to kind of get the wheels to bite in so we can get on the throttle a little bit earlier, because it's important to have a high exit speed because we have the biggest straightaway coming up here. We're just going to full throttle. We're going to come up on the little AstroTurf again, full throttle through here, and then we have what I think are some of the trickiest corners I've encountered, bar none. So this whole next section, for the next 2 corners, we're not going to get back on the throttle. We're just going to hold the brakes to varying pressures. Our first braking zone is going to be right before the one here. So we're going to get on the brakes pretty heavily. We're going to lift off the brakes a bit, so we're kind of trail braking through this corner here, and we're going to start downshifting while we do it. So we're just easing off the brakes, putting some wheel in, but we're going to keep some pressure there. And then our wheel straight. So we're kind of sliding through here. We're going to straighten out the wheel as the back end comes around. Then we're going to hit the brakes hard again for this next corner here. And then we're going to start to give it a little bit of throttle. And we want to avoid, I can't get a line where I'm gonna clip this a little bit. If we could have stayed out wider a little bit longer, we could have had a little bit better angle coming through here, but I struggle with this corner mightily. This is one of the toughest parts of the track for me. I think a lot of people. But yeah, we're gonna give some throttle as we're turning through here. And then we're gonna come around. We can go up a little bit on here. I didn't this lap. But yeah, now we're full throttle. Now we got the bomb hole corner, which I think has a fun little name, but it's from World War II. There was a bomb. This is a abandoned airport, and a bomb exploded in that corner. There's a divot here, and that's why it's called bomb hole. Fun little fact. Maybe not so fun. But anyway, we're just going to lift as we come down in here. We're going to lift a little bit, and then as we're exiting, we're going to put our throttle back down, and we're going to come back through here. This is full throttle, and then we're going to lift a bit as we come around this corner here. We're lifting and just kind of keeping half to a quarter throttle and kind of modulating as the grip allows us to. And then I kind of count down as we're coming back. We're giving a little bit more throttle. I kind of count down these poles, wickets. I don't know what you want to call them. We got 1, 2, 3. This is where we're going to start braking. But I'm probably going to lift a little bit coming into here, and then I'm going to start braking. Trying to stay kind of on the right as much as I can. But we're straightening out, and we're just gonna do our normal trail brake thing through here and give it some more gas as we're exiting, and then full throttle the rest of the way through. And we got ourselves a 158 945. So yeah, excited for the week, looking forward to it. And yeah, it's one of those interesting courses that I don't get to run very often. So we'll see how it goes. I guess if you want to watch along live when we do it, head on over to twitch.tv/thepiltdownman. I tend to do the Formula Fords on Tuesdays mostly. Wednesdays I'm trying to do Camel GT with the new time slot that opened up with that. Thursdays end up being NASCAR night, and Saturdays are going to be NEC when that starts up again. So we'll see. We'll start doing some solo NEC runs. So that's kind of the plans going forward for the stream. Thumbs up button if you like the video, thumbs down if you didn't. Hit the subscribe button, it helps out a lot. and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.